Finally, baseball season has started. I am super excited. As you can tell, I'm in my Dodgers Ohtani jersey because it is time. We don't have to wait anymore. We've actually had some baseball games. Yeah, the season doesn't officially start for another week, but as far as I'm concerned, if there's somebody in the win column, it's baseball season. So we're going to talk about all that and more. And we're going to bring in our guy, Mr. 69, the only guy with a career 69 saves. They call him McGorgeous. That's David Aardsma. TA, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, James? Awesome. Baseball's going. Major League Baseball started already. I love it. I'm wearing my what is it? Is it kimono? Kimono. My official opening series 2008 kimono with my Cubs jersey. Got to show some love. He's going to throw the Dodgers out there, like get the Cubs going a little bit. Yeah. Justin Turner's not the only one that got one of these.
Dude, that thing is just so ridiculously freaking cool. I want that in my collection. And like I told you earlier, I'm not trying to steal it from you, but oh my God, look at that thing. That thing is so cool. Oh, if you ever say, I just got to get rid of some junk, That's the junk that I want in my house.
Nope.
Well, I'm sure JD and DZ would want it too. Hey,
I'm keeping this thing. I don't know. Why do you think I'm going to get rid of stuff?
Because eventually stuff gets old and people do that. I don't know. I've gotten rid of plenty of stuff in my life.
This ain't going nowhere. It's actually like the second time I've ever worn it. So
that is just so cool. Hey, since we mentioned JD and DZ, before we get started, I was thinking about this day. JD is the ball player in your house. Does he care about, the series in Tokyo? Does he care about Ohtani? Like, I know his favorite baseball player is Griffey. Like, who does he care about in today's game? Like, should I be sending him Ohtani cards for Christmas?
He likes Ohtani. I get it. Like, he likes Elio Cruz. I don't know. He's not a big baseball fan. I'm a big Major League Baseball fan. He doesn't watch games. He'll watch if it's on and like walking by, but YouTube, man, this entire generation just lives on YouTube. That's it.
That is just so sad that the kid eats, breathes, sleeps baseball, and he doesn't watch the game.
And football. Now it's like bigger on football. But I don't know. It's a different vibe. I mean, TikTok and YouTube, that's like they live on it.
Strange. All right, let's get it started. The Dodgers are 2-0. So let's just get it started. What have you seen so far? What are your immediate reactions? Like, what did we learn from the series?
What did we learn from the series? That it's really early. That it's still spring training's basically going on. It's too early to make any predictions on the teams or players or anything like that. But what we did see is that Dodgers are a good team. They're a good, complete baseball team. They can play baseball in a lot of different ways. They're going to score plenty of runs on the season. They're going to have plenty of games where they put up 10, 12 runs. But they can also beat you 4-3, 6-3, whatever it is. They can beat you a lot of different ways, and they have a lot of different tools. The pitching staff for the Dodgers, we also saw that they're not the greatest. And they're going to like blow you out every single game with shutouts and no hitters and everything like that. You can score runs on them. Roki Sasaki, I know we'll talk a lot about him, but vulnerable at moments and over pitching at times. We saw the offense, obviously, with the Dodgers come through when they need it. And again, we saw good baseball, fun environment. I love the Japanese series. I love everything about it. I love the idea behind it. And again, too early to really take a whole lot away outside the fact that what we already know. The Dodgers are pretty good. The Cubs weren't bad at all by any means. That series could have very easily been 1-1. And the Dodgers aren't going to just blow everybody away. The Cubs are a good team too.
Okay. Game 1, we had Yamamoto versus Imanaga. How awesome was it that both of those guys dominated while they were in the game? Of course, the Cubs lost it as soon as Imanaga came out, and they had Ben Brown blow the game, basically, is what happened. But how great for the Japanese fans that two of their guys got to start the game, both played well. The atmosphere must have been electric.
Absolutely, and absolutely electric. I love this. Is why you do these series. I mean, you got Yamamoto starting the one game, Sasaki starting the next game, Imanaga playing. You got Suzuki in there, Ohtani in there. It's absolutely amazing. The level of talent that we've had in Major League Baseball from Japan, from Asia in general, has never been better. Never been better, and superstars too, like really, really good players. And so when we're seeing these teams play, this is why you do the series in Japan. This is why you do that, because when we started doing this back in the day, like this talent now has grown up. Those players watching that, growing up on watching Major League Baseball come to Japan, are now playing Major League Baseball in Japan. And so that's why you do series like this. This is why I love when they go to London. This is why I love when they go out to Mexico and they do different series in different countries, because that generation now is growing up wanting to be on that field. Like they're not just Ohtani, and Imanaga and Suzuki and Roki Sasaki. Like they could all have decided to stay in Japan and play in Japan. But when they watch Major League Baseball come, they want to play Major League Baseball, so they drive a little bit harder, they play a little bit harder, and they end up playing there for their Major League Baseball teams. I love the series. I love the fans. I love the energy.
I heard a lot of people complaining, talking about the fact that, oh, the Dodgers fans, they couldn't watch their team. The Cubs fans couldn't watch their team play the first game of the season. And I totally get it. If it was the Mets and, last year I was actually in Japan during opening day and I woke up at 3:00 in the morning to watch the Mets, but that's because I had COVID and I couldn't sleep anyway. And yeah, it sucked that I had to wake up and watch the game. So I can understand if you don't get the chance to watch your favorite team. I can understand if you're pissed off. But for the greatness of the game globally, and for what I hope one day, I'm praying that one day we have a Champions League. I would love to see the Dodgers play the best team in Japan and then go and play the best team in the Dominican after the season. I know that it'll be very hard going because the MLBPA will poo-poo that real quick. But that's what I'd like to see. But for the growth of the game internationally, it's imperative.
It's an incredible series too, and yes, there are good points to be had. If I'm a Dodgers fan, it's not as much. Well, I guess it was probably better for the Cubs fans. But if I'm a fan and my team's going out there for opening day, I want to be able to watch opening day. Opening day is a special, sacred thing in my heart. I love it, but the game has changed. The game is much more global than it's ever been. And so to have opening day there, you could still have our opening day. The Dodgers are still going to have their opening day. The Cubs are still going to have their opening day, at home. We have 162 games, and we're constantly complaining that there's too many games. And then when Major League Baseball has an idea, said, okay, you're complaining about too many games, but we're going to have 2 games in Japan. Then we complain that 2 games are in Japan. So it's like, what do you want? Are you complaining there's too many games? Or are you complaining that now the games are in Japan? Or is it just about opening day and that means something different? I get it, but like all the time, like Major League Baseball started on the road. Like you can't, not everybody opens at home in the very first game.
Yeah,
like almost every season of my career, like I started on the road as actually really opening day. Get over it. I think I love it. I love the idea of it being in Japan. And I think it means so much more because there are so many more Asian players and you have it there. And it's just, it's great for the game. And just like, I love it. Get over it if you don't like it. Wake up if you really love it. But other sports do this, and it's a great idea. Champions League. I like your idea of Champions League. If Japan and these other places or Major League Baseball or baseball is flourishing, if they could have teams as good as Major League Baseball, I would be 100% for it. My problem is Champions League, right? When you're in England, when you're in France, when you're in Spain, when you're in some of these other countries, Italy, Germany, their top level is just as good as everybody else's top level. Mm-hmm. We're not at that level yet, right? In Japan, like if you want to be the best, you come to Major League Baseball. In soccer or football, whatever you want to call it, if you want to be the best, you can stay in your country and be the best and play against the best. And so we're not quite on that level yet.
Not yet, but as you know, people rise to the occasion. You take a look at the 92 Olympics when Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, they played in the Olympics and they beat everybody by 100 points. Now it's not even a foregone conclusion that America is going to do that. So I think in order for the other countries to catch up, we have to have that international, play so that they can realize where we're falling short and how do they improve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I do like it. I know we've done series in the past. I know they've done stuff in the past, but I do like the idea of making something a little bit more like that. Again, I think the World Baseball Classic is going to expand baseball across the globe a lot more than anything like that will. And that's the 92 Olympics is the World Baseball Classic. You get that going, you get those other countries going and building up their own programs, and then you can get baseball a little bit more globally on a tournament level for
Yeah,
the
I mean,
actual teams, not just countries.
personally, I like the idea of a Champions League rather than the World Baseball Classic. I actually want to see a full team. I think there's a big difference between a full team and how they gel and how they control their staff and everything else, rather than a glorified exhibition that everybody's really worrying
Oh,
about.
screw you, glorified exhibition. That's the World Cup. Like that, they don't call that a glorified like that's the biggest there is for football, for soccer, is the World Cup. That's the biggest. Champions League is without a doubt lower, much lower than that. And even above Champions League is the Euros. Like, and that's their country. Those are not glorified anything. That's it. That's the level. Our problem is we do it before the season. And so guys aren't 100% ready for the season. When they make that the bigger money maker, like somehow that's no problem. The economics of baseball need to change, and the timing of it needs to change. That'll be the biggest tournament there is.
Yeah.
The World Cup blows out blows out the Champions League.
Yeah, I never liked the World Cup. I never liked the idea because if you do the World Baseball Classic, Otani's playing for Japan against the United States. I want to see him play against the Tokyo Giants. I think that's a lot cooler, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're wrong.
But I could be wrong.
You're wrong.
It happens time to time.
Could be. No, you are.
All right. Speaking of Ohtani, did he hit a home run in game 2?
Yes.
It was a home run?
And yes. In my opinion, it was a home run. What do you think?
I think it's 50-50 at best.
I think it's 50-50, but when you call it on the field and then you look back and it's 50-50, it goes to the call on the field. And that's my thing about it is you can't compare it to other home runs and other calls. And like,
no.
I saw people trying to do that to go back to the World Series, and like when the guys reach over the fan reach over the wall in Dodger Stadium, and like they didn't call it a home run, they called it a ground rule double. Like, dude, that ball was never clearly not going out. This one, is the technology to a point when we can tell by a millimeter where that ball is over the plate? Are we not at a point where the technology can tell if that ball's like leaving the stadium or not, leaving the yard? I get it. It might be that it just was in Japan, but if we're in Dodger Stadium or if we're in Yankee Stadium and someone hits a ball, we should know exactly where that ball is going to end up with the wall. And then we can now backtrack that and say, okay, if the fan's not there, that's a home run. Like, that's right. Gone. And that's how we can review this, instead of having an umpire running out there reviewing it on camera and like trying to like put a line and figure out trajectory. Like, we know this is all, like, we have data behind this. Maybe it's not as good once it gets out there that far away from the home plate, but I don't know.
If anybody has the technology, it's the Japanese, because they kick our ass when it comes to electronics. We know this. They should be able to take care of that.
Well, what do you think? Like, where are you at on it?
I think, listen, like I said, 50-50 at best. They called it on the field they called it a home run on the field, and if they overturned it, they would have destroyed that freaking stadium.
Well, I don't even know if they would have done that. No, not at all. I think if they would have overturned it, they're baseball fans. They're baseball fans first and foremost. Again, it couldn't have been any better that it was Ohtani hitting home run and all that stuff, right? But they're baseball fans and they get it. And if you look at it and go, hey, like, overturn this, not you sit back and you agree with it. I think baseball fans are a little bit more understanding, especially on plays like that, where it's like even the fans are like, the ball's on the field. That's the end of the day. The ball's on the field. So you don't, like, it's not out. So that's when it gets like questionable like that. I think they would have been totally understanding. I just think when we get to Ohtani hits 40 whatever home runs this year, no one's going to care that the first one, like how he got the first one. And that's the thing, is like, already there's no one's going to care in a week about that ball, it's not that controversial.
I'll tell you one thing. I was looking at it, and if it did hit the top of the wall before the fan got to it, it would have bounced over, and Ohtani would have ran all the way home anyway. It would have
That's
bounced over
exactly
the
what would have
outfielder's head.
happened too. 100%.
So either way, but it's very cool that Shohei Ohtani got to hit a home run in the Tokyo Dome. He's only one of two players who were born in Japan to go to the Tokyo Dome and hit a home run in as a major leaguer.
Who's the other one?
I'm going to ask you. Do you know who it is?
The other one to be born in Japan, come back as a Major League Baseball player and hit a home run?
Yep, in the Tokyo Dome.
Born in Japan? It would be Godzilla? Matsui?
Godzilla.
Really?
Yeah. So,
nice.
Yeah, pretty good company over there.
Right?
Did you get to see? I didn't get to see a lot of the games. Was Matsui over there? Was Ichiro over there? Do we know if those guys were front and center?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything of him. I do know. I mean, I saw a bunch of him back at Mariners camp, but I can't imagine like Major League Baseball had anything to do with it that those guys weren't there. We know Griffey was there, right? So we know there are a bunch of other stars there. So why aren't? I imagine they would have been there, but I don't know. Again, they do this almost every other year, so it's not like the fanfare is amazing, but like you don't want to take away from Ohtani and from Imanaga and Yamamoto. Like sometimes those overshadow them, right?
Yeah.
But they're also about culture. They're also about handing it down and moving like to the next generation. I don't know. I just don't know. I didn't see the opening days. Like I've watched all the highlights. I've watched the games. I didn't see like the festivities and stuff.
What was it? 4:00 in the morning your time? 3:00 in the morning your time? The game started.
God, maybe even earlier than that.
Something like that. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second there. Yeah, you mentioned Griffey being in Japan. I'm still really pissed at him. I told him, don't you need someone to carry all your cameras since you're going to be going over there in the photographer's camera well? I mean, come on, man.
Dude, like, it's incredible.
He couldn't have had an assistant, for cripe's sake, just once. There's all this cool merchandise in the Japanese series that I didn't get my hands on because it's all in Japan. So if I want some of it, and I have to pay an arm and a leg to get it. They're baseball cards that were just for that series. I'm not.
I'm going to say this right now. Hot take: sell all your baseball cards. Sell all the baseball cards. I see this as big. This bubble's about to burst.
Oh, dude, I only got, so I don't want to talk too much about the baseball cards, but a lot of them I only got because they meant something to me. I didn't buy them as an investment. Like my Ohtani, and I was telling Alex before the show, like I'm kind of done buying, big cards because I've got everything I want. I have every Griffey rookie. I have 24.
My problem is like you put out so many stupid big cards, and like if there's a prism or if this card or this one, any card they want to just number 1 out of 10. That's the problem, is they just keep pumping these super special rare. And Major League Baseball is like adding different logos to their jerseys so they can cut it up and like this is a special logo. Like they got the gold logo now, and you got this like for your everything is so, they're going to such an extreme that at some point like it's just.
All right, David, before we move on to the next topic, which I'm very excited about, we do this all the time, either on the air or between the two of us. I just want to mention to everybody that this show, Closers, will be moving to our new YouTube channel within the next couple of weeks. Make sure you subscribe. It's at Man Cave Baseball on YouTube. We are in a mad dash to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I have a prize pack that'll put hair on Mr. Aardsma's head. It's chock full of rookie cards. I've got Paul Skeens cards, Churio cards, anything that you want. Ohtani rookies are going to be in there. So a whole bunch of cool stuff that I'm willing to give to one lucky subscriber. So make sure you go there and subscribe. Be one of the first 1,000 to be eligible. All right, David, with all that being said, it is time for our annual predictions. So let's start with the AL West, and I will let you show us your AL West predictions before I go into mine.
My AL West predictions. Okay. Well, right there. Now we can see it. We can see everybody's. I've got the Rangers coming back, winning the AL West. I think the Astros are a good team. Mariners are a good team, but they didn't get any better. They actually, both teams got worse. I think the Rangers are getting better because they're just getting healthy and they're just getting more driven. I like this Rangers team. I think this team is going to be a force in the American League by himself. I do think that the Angels won't be bad. The A's will be a lot better than people think. I actually think the A's are going to improve by 12 games this year over last year. That's what my prediction is on them, improving a lot. But the Mariners didn't get better. They're still going to be right on the edge and make them playoffs. Astros are going to be on the edge and make them playoffs, but the Rangers, I think, are solid.
I agree with you on the Rangers. I think getting Jacob deGrom back and having some of their infielders all healthy is going to get them to that AL West division crown, and they could end up being the World Series team if they play their cards right. I also think the Mariners are going to be in second place. I think the Astros took a major step back. You lose Kyle Tucker, you move Jose Altuve to the outfield. You've got less guys protecting oh God, what their best hitter. I don't understand why I can't remember his name.
With who?
Best hitter on the Astros.
Not oh my God. Well, not Kyle Tucker anymore. Not Altuve. Altuve
No.
getting old. Not Bregman. Oh my God.
Right?
One of the best hitters in baseball. What am I doing here?
Good Lord. I'm ready to say Yonder Alonso. It's not him. What the hell is this guy's name all of a sudden?
God. Just go. Keep talking, no. James. You got to fill the void here. James, fill the void. We're going to do this as we're talking, and I'm going to figure it out. But we got to keep talking, James.
Okay. Well, all right, fine. Well, so I think the Mariners, they have an amazing pitching staff. I do think they're going to go backwards this year. But
Yordan Alvarez.
Oh, my God. Thank you. Yordan Alvarez. How the hell did we forget?
Locked up. It feels so bad.
Major brain fart. Going back to the Mariners, though, they're going to take a step back in the pitching rotation, but J-Rod is going to have a better year. I don't think there's any chance that he won't. I think Cal Raleigh is an absolute stud. I think this team, they did fall, one game short of the playoffs last year. I think they're going to probably end up making it. The Astros, I'm not a believer in. The A's, I think, are going to be a lot better. And the Angels are the Angels. When you have $300 million sitting on the IL every freaking year because Rendon is a piece of garbage, you're never going to do anything. You're going to get out of the basement. And I really hope that they trade Mike Trout. If Mike Trout can be healthy at the trade deadline, I can really see somebody saying, hey, you know what? Let's take him on.
Yep, I could see that.
All right, let's move to the AL Central.
AL Central, let's see if it pops up.
Oh, it'll pop up.
Alex, you're so good. God, this is awesome. AL Central, while the AL Central had produced 3 playoff teams, I think they're getting one this year. The Royals, without a doubt, the best team. They're put together very well. I see them continuing with what they did last year. We got this whole division exactly the same. White Sox are going to suck, but not as sucky they were last year.
You can't suck as much as they sucked.
They've sucked it all. They've sucked it dry.
Yeah.
Now they're not going to be as sucky. And so the Guardians, I think, are going backwards. Again, I don't think they got better as a team. I think they got worse. Tigers, I think it was an amazing run what they did last year. They're not going to be able to repeat that, and our offense still has a whole lot of holes in it. Tariq Skubal can't take the ball every single day. Twins are a good team, and they're going to be borderline for that last playoff spot. But I just don't think they got injuries already happening. I don't think they have a team that's built to win, just the way it's built. And the Royals, though, are improving.
Nobody on that Twins rotation scares me. Like you said, they already have injuries. Royce Lewis is already out for a little while. You can't freaking count on Byron Buston. That's what I call him because he's a bust. You remember years ago I was saying he was a bust because the guy can never stay healthy. And the Royals, they're just going to win by default. And I think Vinny Pasquantino is going to have a really nice year. I like some of the additions that they made. I think that they are the division winner there without a doubt. But I know a lot of people who are really high on the Twins. Not me.
Not me. Not this year.
All right. Let's go to the AL East.
The beast.
And we're going to argue here.
The East. The beast of the East. New York Yankees going to win the division. I like the team. I like how they're built. I still think the Red Sox are a step behind. I think they did an amazing job bringing in Bregman. I don't think that offense is going to be as strong as the Yankees offense. Stanton, though, is actually, I think, the biggest injury. Stanton Cole. I mean, don't get me wrong, Cole's a huge loss, but Stanton is a bigger loss, I think, as far as that offense goes. The Red Sox have a great team, though. Red Sox are a very good team. It's funny how we had the bottom half exactly the same. I think the Jays have actually built. I actually see the Jays borderline make the playoffs. Red Sox for sure make the playoffs. I think the Red Sox are the best wild card team in baseball, and then the Rays are on the out. Orioles did not get better either.
No. Rays, I think, will get a little better. Orioles did not get better at all. They're relying way too much on Shigano. The Blue Jays are very good. I could see them catching fire at some point and giving both those other two teams in the division a run. The Yankees, I'm sorry, I am not as bullish on the Yankees as you are. You already have a back problem with Paul Goldschmidt. You already lost Garrett Cole. Giancarlo Stanton may never play baseball again. You still don't have a third baseman on that team. I don't trust Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon now is your number one or number two. I can't trust him. I can't trust a team that's relying on Stroman as one of their top five pitchers anymore. I don't see it. You lost too much in Juan Soto. You lost Gleyber Torres, and they're sitting there and they're saying, "Oh, wait a minute, what's up?"
Who are the starters for the Boston Red Sox? The starting rotation.
You got Garrett Crochet. You've got oh Jesus Christ, Walker Buehler. Those are the two guys that they signed, and the other two right now the other three off the top of my head are not there
because you will never be able to name them. Tanner Hoke, Richard,
who I like.
Like Quinn Prester, like what? How is this team supposed to, like, you're talking about Stroman and Rodon as being like trash. I get it. But like Garrett Crochet is literally had a great year, incredible year last year. He is going to blow out, guys. He's going to get hurt. I am sorry. Walker Buehler, we don't even know what we have coming off of a second Tommy John, and that's your big signing. That's your big deal.
I'm telling you, I think this is a much better.
They don't have the rotation and they don't have they got some pieces in the bullpen. They don't have big boy pieces. Aroldis Chapman's their big boy in the bullpen right now. Liam Hendricks, like a little late.
Sounds like a bet is coming on.
And I get it. Like I get the offense. Like Duran, Devers, Bregman, Cassis, like great. But you are stretching when you go to Story, Abreu, Wong, like Connor Wong, like Hamilton. Who is it? Like Rafaela?
Don Rafaela.
Like, guys, who are we kidding?
Okay. I'm telling you that this is a much better team than you think it is.
The trash that we're talking about with the Yankees, like the players were like, oh man, these guys suck now. Like the Red Sox would take them in a heartbeat. That's when you got to understand, like the Red Sox would take like 3/4 of the Yankees lineup right now, or even their entire roster, and put them in their starters. That's our problem. Like when we look at this Red Sox team, like they're going to be good. But if Trevor Story's not good, that lineup is four guys and that rotation. If Walker Buehler and Crochet are not like the greatest pitchers in baseball, that rotation is bad. They have to be the greatest pitchers in baseball. That's the thing, is Crochet and Walker Buehler have to be great. They can't just be good. And that's where I get what the problem with this is. Like when we trash the Yankees, we look at the competition.
I'm not trashing the Yankees, but
no, like I think people pick when they pick the Yankees to not be as good, and you're like, wait, the Red Sox would take all three of those guys in a heartbeat and not even think about it.
Okay. David, I'm sorry, I disagree with you. I think the Yankees are a far worse team than you think they are. Not that the Red Sox are all that great, but I just think the Yankees are going to have a lot of problems this year. Jazz Chisholm, he was fantastic for the Yankees, but as we've said in the past, he has never lived up to expectation. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that for a full year. You don't have a third baseman. You brought in a first baseman that has a bad back. You lose Giancarlo Stanton. Those are major problems. And then add Garrett Cole. Then add the fact that Luis Gil is hurting. Devin Williams, great guy in the back of the bullpen, but this guy, don't forget the last time we saw him, he gave up a home run in the playoffs to lose it for the Brewers. So that could be a problem long term. Let's see who we got in the wild card race in the AL.
All right, my wild card predictions, as we talked about, Red Sox, I think, are the best team out of all the wild card teams. Again, I've got the Rangers winning the West, so the next best, Astros and Mariners. I don't think anybody else from that Central gets in besides Royals.
I'm with you. I just have a different order. I obviously have the Yankees going in there because I have the Red Sox winning the division. The Mariners, I think, are going to be improved. At least I hope so. And the Houston Astros are just the best of the bunch.
To me, it's the Mariners or the Blue Jays are really going to be the question. And it just depends on where the Blue Jays go. If the Blue Jays go in the right direction, it's their division. Or sorry, it's their wild card to win.
Yeah, I could see the Blue Jays sneaking in over the Astros in my list. I could see that. I think the Mariners are getting in. I really do. All right, let's move on now to the NL West. And I will guarantee right now, my prognostication will say that the Dodgers are going to win the division easily.
Really going out on a stretch here with the Dodgers. Dodgers are going to win it. I think the Dodgers over under, I think it's sitting at like 105 or something like that. I don't think the Dodgers are going to win 105. I think they're going to be a little below that. I do think they have question marks in their rotation or question marks. I think they have, it's not as perfectly polished as we all think it is. I do think there's going to be issues there. Yamamoto, again, year 2, he wasn't fully healthy last year. Let's see where he goes with that. Gonsolin, we don't know, exactly what we're going to get at him. He's looked great so far in spring when he has thrown. Sasaki, I don't think he's going to be healthy. I just don't feel it. Blake Snell can't go past 5 innings. Like, he knows he's allergic to the 6th inning. Glass now can't stay healthy for a year. Dustin May can't stay healthy for a year. You're looking at Clayton Kershaw. Like, they've got so many guys that have had injury issues. Again, it's a great problem to have because they've got so many guys, but there's so many things there. If they're healthy, dude, they're going to blow everybody away. I just don't think they're going to stay healthy. I think it's going to be a mismatch of guys. And then from a lineup standpoint, they're going to be great. Again, they're not going to sit there and just blow you out every single game, 12-0, but their top 4 are as good as anybody. Teoscar is not going to have the same year he's going to have this year. We know Ohtani's not going to have the same year that he had last year. So I do think they're going to take a step back. They're going to win the division, but I guarantee you it's going to be a little bit closer than people think. The Diamondbacks and Padres are just going to be tough teams every single time they play. They're going to be tough and a lot tougher than people think.
Yep. We didn't even talk about this in the beginning of the show when we were talking about the series. Roki Sasaki, that dude needs to learn how to hit the strike zone.
Dude, he's in Japan, first year here. He's a young player. He's excited. He's overthrowing. But I'll say this: if it's not for a line drive directly at your shortstop, that game is tied or they're losing, and he's leaving the game. And he threw 3 innings, something like that. Like, young, excited. You're overthrowing everything. He's going to be just fine. I just don't know if he's going to be healthy.
Well, that's what everybody was saying, that was his big problem coming into Major League Baseball, that he's got the stuff, but he does have a little bit of an issue finding that strike zone at times. And a lot of people said that he would end up turning up into becoming a reliever as a result of that. We'll see how it plays out. I have the Padres as number 2 in the division. I saw something last year in the playoffs that I think a lot of people are sleeping on. I think Fernando Tatis is going to have one hell of a year. I think he's going to put it all together this year. Coming off the injury last year, all the steroid stuff, he's finally going in there with a clear head. I think he could be a significant upgrade this year. The Diamondbacks, you said it, good team. And like we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, if Jordan Montgomery can step up, they could be scary. It really could. Giants and Rockies will, round out the division.
Sure.
I don't think there's.
I forgot to even mention them. My bad.
All right, let's go to the NL Central.
NL Central, the beast of the NL Central. It's the Cubs and kind of everybody else. The Brewers are going to be a good team, but not great. They did not get better. Cardinals are definitely not getting better. The Reds, the best thing they did was bring in Terry Francona. Again, that's a long-term play. This isn't a playoff team yet. Pirates did nothing to help themselves out besides keep their rotation together. But like they still have him sign those guys, like give them long-term deals, give every one of those guys long-term deals. That they've got the best young rotation in baseball. It's the Cubs. The Cubs just got a lot better, and that's the way I look at this is the Brewers. I mean, you lost the best reliever in baseball, and or arguably the best reliever in baseball, and Willie Adames. Like you're not getting better. That's the thing is like they're finding good players to fill, but good players don't win divisions. Great players do.
Yeah, they're bringing in replacement players. Is what they're doing.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody there. I agree with you. It is the Cubs division, but I am really high.
That was a lot of talk really quick.
I really like the Reds. I love bringing in Terry Francona. I think they have some stuff over there. I think Ellie De La Cruz is an absolute stud who's only going to get better under Francona. I asked you a couple of weeks ago, is he the guy that's going to make this team better? And you said yes, and I believe you, and I love Tito. So I think they're going to be in second place. You got them in fourth. I'm putting them all the way up there. The Cardinals, just because I don't think they're going to keep Nolan Arenado, I think they're going to end up selling a lot of pieces throughout the season. I think they're going to be problematic. But the Brewers, like you said, they just worse. Bottom line, just worse. There's nothing you can do. And the Pirates, now you got Jared Jones, who's got problems going into the season. And we had said that he needs to come through if they're going to have any chance to do something this year. So I'm a little scared about that whole situation. They desperately needed a first baseman. They should have picked up Christian Walker. Made major, major mistakes this offseason, in my opinion.
Agree with you.
And finally, we're going to go to my favorite division in baseball, the NL East. And it's actually really funny how we have this set up, because if you look on the screen right now, David Aardsma has the Mets winning the division, and I have the Phillies winning the division.
Oh, all right. You make your argument.
It's very simple. The Phillies, I think, are the best overall team in that division. They have the starting pitching. They have the guy who should win a Cy Young at some point in Zach Wheeler. They have Aaron Nola. They have a lineup that is as good as anybody when they're all clicking. The Mets, they don't have that rotation yet. That's the only thing. It'll take them a little time. Sean Manaea is hurt to start the season. Kodai Senga is coming back from a major injury. It's going to take them a little time to gel. Granted, they got Juan Soto, and I have them as a playoff team, and I think they will go farther in the playoffs than the Phillies, but I think it's the Phillies division. You tell me why I'm wrong.
Obviously, Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler are incredible. They're studs. It's the Phillies that are going to be based on Christopher Sanchez and Ranger Suarez. Where those guys go, the Phillies go. My only thing with that lineup is, when are we going to see them really break out? When are we going to see Trey Turner play like the Trey Turner they signed? Is Bryce Harper getting younger? No. Is he going to get better? Great. Like no, probably not at this point at 33, at 32 and a half. Bohm is a solid player, not a great player. Schwarzer, again, he's 32. Schwarber 32. Nick Castellanos is 33. Like Kepler is in the rotation, in the lineup at 34 or 33. Real Muto is 34. That's my problem with this team, is that they're just, when are we going to see them like take that next level and just be a lineup that we're just like, God dang, I don't want to face any of these guys. They were close a couple years ago. They were close to that. But they also didn't have Harper most of the year. And then Harper came back, and now Harper gave them that in the playoffs, that push. But then some of those other guys kind of step back, and we just haven't seen them be that complete team yet. Right now with the Mets, great argument here. And again, it could be Phillies or Mets either way. I don't think it really matters. And to be honest, I think it would help to not win the division, because you're going to be the second team in baseball. So you're going to have the off on the playoffs. So I actually think it's going to help whoever ends up being second place more than it helps being first. I think that lineup is a little bit younger, a little bit more exciting, a little bit more energy, where the Phillies, it's like they're trying to find it, where the Mets they got a train kind of flowing. They got young replacement players that have come in and done a great job and filling in those gaps. They have a little bit of that young energy. The rotation, great argument. There's no doubt the top two, you can't even touch the Phillies. Like that's arguably the best two in baseball. I don't care whether you're talking Dodgers, arguably the Phillies are the best two. But when Clay Holmes and Senga, they're not bad. They're pretty dang good.
No, they're not bad.
David Peterson, Tyler McGill, and I think right now they're going with Canning. Griffin Canning's kind of lined up in their fifth. The bottom two, like, yeah, they're definitely behind the Phillies, but I think that lineup and the bullpen push them over the edge as far as like they're going to have a little bit more energy. Phillies have to find something. The Mets just have to be consistent.
But you brought up Clay Holmes. We don't know what he's going to be. It's like everybody's saying it's a foregone conclusion that he's going to be just fine. We don't know.
Yeah.
So now you have that question mark. You have the question mark with Kodai Senga, who I love. I think he's an incredible pitcher, but I don't know what to expect this year. And he hasn't been, rocking it here in spring training. It's just going to take a little time for this Mets team to gel. I believe they will, but it's going to take some time. And then the Braves, the only reason why I won't say the Braves are going to win the division is what's that?
We haven't even talked about the Braves.
No, we haven't even discussed them. But the Braves, you're not going to get Acuna back to start the season. You lost Fried. Schwellenbach has to be the guy who's going to fill in those shoes, and we don't know what he's going to do in his second year. So I don't know.
Sale's going to take a step back. Spencer Strider, by the way, looks like he's all world again. So he's going to be in that rotation. It's going to take a little bit, maybe. Well, Ronaldo Lopez is obviously an absolute stud, but when you get to the back end of that rotation, it gets really thin. Chris Sale, I think, is destined to get hurt. I'm just going to say it. Destined to get hurt. The incredible year last year. Do not plan on that happening again. They have the best bullpen in that division. It's just what are we going to get out of the offense? Are we going to see last year, or are we going to see the team from 3-4 years ago with Matt Olson just going crazy? Riley, the pickup come on, like Riley, let's go, like be that guy again. Like we saw it. Like I say pickup, like he was good last year. Like we need to see the great couple years ago. Marcell Ozuna, you have to continue what you're doing again. I was like Albies, like Arcia, like. Jared Kelenic, if Jared Kelenic's still in your starting 9, like you're missing a player, right? You're just missing a little bit of something at this point. And then Acuna, when Acuna is, dude, like it's just Acuna and Sean Murphy. Like, what are we getting out of these guys? Like, Sean Murphy was the biggest like move that they made a couple years ago. Hasn't really paid off. It hasn't been the guy that they got.
And I'm not that high on Michael Harris. I don't think he's, a great player. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's great. Ozzy Albies, I don't think is in that great territory either. I think he's a pretty good player. I may be wrong, but I can't see them doing it this year. But if they would have to have everything firing on all cylinders in order for them to take the division. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? No. Nationals are definitely at least a year away. They've got all the pieces. They've got a lot of young guys, but it's not going to be this year. And the Marlins are a dumpster fire, and they're going to be even worse at the second half because they're going to trade Sandy Alcantara.
Yep, to the Yankees, and the Yankees win the division.
That's very possible. If that happens, then I might put them over the Red Sox. But we also don't know what Sandy Alcantara is going to be. He's coming back from Tommy John. He could be mediocre. He could be terrible. He could be great, but you can't rely on him.
No, you can't. I wouldn't. Again, he's a long-term play.
All right. So who do we have in the NL wildcard race?
My NL wildcard ends up being the Phillies, the Braves, and the Diamondbacks. And again, these are even like if the Padres and Diamondbacks or Padres, Diamondbacks, and then Braves don't get in, like it doesn't matter. This is going to be an incredible playoffs.
Yeah. I have the Mets winning the first wild card. Then I have the Braves, and then I have the Padres. And Braves and Padres could be interchangeable. I'm not sure. But, I'm high on the Padres this year. Don't know why.
They're a good team. That's why. Again, they're a great team. I just have them just being out. I think the Diamondbacks have a little bit more than they have. I don't like Christian Walker leaving. But again, Christian Walker hadn't really provided a whole lot in the last couple of years that they're not going to get out of. Was it Naylor that came in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Before we move on to our next topic, you and we have to discuss something. I'm having some major problems here in New York that you can help out with. Number one, I told you last week I'm playing softball again. And it's got me thinking, what could a 43-year-old David Aardsma, former major league pitcher, due in a softball league. So we're going to need to get you down here. And I don't know about everybody else, but I think that it would be intriguing to videotape you pitching underhand and throwing 70 miles an hour and making people look stupid and hitting bombs. I want to see that. Plus, all the girls that work for me, they're all in love with you, and it's driving me nuts. They call you McGorgeous because of that McDreamy and McSteamy and McNugget and whatever they have on that Grey's Anatomy show. They name you McGorgeous. And the only reason they watch the show is because of you. They think that you are a filter. They think you're that good looking. So I got to get you over here to get these girls to just calm down a little bit.
Wait till they know me. Yeah, wait till they meet me. Then all that will be gone. I feel like yeah.
It's annoying going out with you. I'm not going to lie. You know, when we would go out on a few different occasions, you know, I'm Danny DeVito. I'm the leftover crap from the sperm shake. You know, you got this big, tall, good-looking, blue-eyed David Aardsma, and then I'm not short, but I'm not as tall as you, so I'm Danny DeVito. I'm not fat anymore, but I'm fatter than you, so I'm Danny DeVito. I'm not ugly, but I'm not good looking. I'm Danny DeVito. So I got to get you over here just so these people can meet you and realize that I'm way better.
Oh, yes. There you go. That'll work. I think that'll work exactly how you think that'll work.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that'll work. All right. Now that I've gotten that off my chest because I'm constantly pissed off with the people I work with talking about how beautiful you are, let's go to the Mount Rushmore this week. All right. We've got our Tigers Mount Rushmore. David, who do you got?
All right, Tigers Mount Rushmore. This is one of those classic franchises that have been around forever and ever and ever, and their history has been strong. They don't have a whole lot of championships under their belt, but they have had a whole lot of great players over the years. My number one, arguably one of the best baseball players of all time, definitely one of the meanest, Ty Cobb.
And don't forget the most racist.
Yeah, maybe he's probably right up there with a few of them. Absolutely amazing baseball player, right? He's one of those guys. Just go to his baseball reference page, and it's just absolutely amazing what he did in his career. Came up at 18 years old in 1905. I mean, MVP in 11, Triple Crown in 09. Four times led the RBIs. Just amazing. Angry baseball player. Let's put it that way. Angry. How would you describe him?
Racist, evil.
Why is that always the first thing that comes to your mind? Who cares at this point?
Listen, if they're going to be talking about Barry Bonds and the steroids and keeping him out of the hall, then I'm going to highlight the fact that this man was not a good man. He was not a good human being. He would sharpen his spikes to make sure that guys would get hurt when he slid into second base. He was a talented guy, but a douche. He makes Trevor Bauer look like Santa Claus.
I think a little bit different generation too. I think then, like, a lot of things he did was more acceptable. I don't like the whole racist part. I'm not going to make an excuse for it, but I think a lot of the other stuff was a lot more acceptable, and they just kind of knew it. He is 6th all time in WAR in Major League Baseball history, behind Babe Ruth, Walter Johnson, Cy Young, Barry Bonds, Willie Mays, and then Ty Cobb. Henry Aaron, the great Hammerin' Hank Aaron, is behind Ty Cobb.
By the way, you know, one thing that really
his baseball reference page, like, he's the highest batting average of all time.
Second highest now.
Is it?
Yeah, because Josh Gibson, they made him the highest, which I still don't agree with. I'm sorry.
And they're indicating he still has a higher.
Based on who? Wikipedia?
Baseball reference.
Interesting, because they made it so that Josh Gibson has the highest, which I have a major problem with. Did you ever see the movie Cobb, by the way?
I did not. I want to. I mean, there's every reason why I should.
It's a really good movie, and it's got Robert Wool, who I absolutely like, and Tommy Lee Jones plays Cobb. Yeah. It's not easily found, by the way. It's pretty hard to find that movie these days, but if you ever have the opportunity to watch it, it's definitely worth a watch, and it has a good cast.
I mean, the dude hit 419, 409. Yeah. Like,
have you ever Have you ever seen anybody in
his
Major League?
worst year, dude, he was 41 and hit 330, 323.
Well, they did ask him later on in his life if he played in the contemporary era, what he would have averaged. And he said, I probably would have averaged like 270. And they said, wow, but your lifetime average is like 340. And he said, well, yeah, but I'm 70 years old now, so I can't hit 370 anymore.
He hit 401, and that didn't even lead the league one year.
Crazy. Hey, I wanted to ask you, though, have you ever seen anybody hit the way that he did? Because he had that split hand approach when he was hitting.
It's a different day and age, man. I understand it, though, because it's a lot easier to control the bat and put the ball where you want, and that's what baseball was back then.
The reason I ask is because every time I think about Ty Cobb, I think about Ichiro, because they basically were,
compare each other a lot.
Yeah. So I was just wondering if you ever saw Ichiro try it in batting practice or something like that.
Nope.
All right, let's move on. Who do you have next?
Al Kaline.
Al Kaline. Tell me about Al Kaline.
Al Kaline, he's one of those guys, again, if you look at Baseball Reference, you go down towards the end where it says awards. It's basically like he didn't ever win an MVP, but it was every year was like 2, 3, like 5, like 10, 2, like absolutely incredible baseball player. Played from 53 to 74, almost 100 WAR, which is amazing. 22 years in Detroit, ended up hitting 297 with one home run shy of 400, 1,500 or almost 1,600 RBIs, 18 All-Star games. 18, James.
That's pretty damn incredible.
22 years, 18 All-Star games, 10 Gold Gloves, won the World Series in 68. Numbers obviously retired. One of the best baseball players of all time.
Plus the fact that he played that long in Detroit and never got shot, he should be amazed.
Absolutely amazed. Again, it's one of those things, though, too, like he had some very, very good years. Like one year he had exactly 200 hits, hit 340, MVP number 2, MVP number 3. He was always up there, but just never had that one year that was just a monster separator from anybody else. He wasn't, I don't want to call him a compiler, not a compiler by any means, but he was just really good for a lot of years.
I'm trying to give him a comp right now, and I'm trying to think who. You know what? I'd say he is a better version of Fred McGriff.
I'll give you that, 100%.
Or Rafael Palmeiro. Never the best guy in the game, but constantly putting up numbers year after year, but not the guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you have next?
Okay, so I'm going to go back in the day again in the 20s and 40s. Charlie Gehringer.
Okay, tell me about Charlie Gehringer, because I know nothing about him.
Nothing?
Nothing.
All right, well, again, he's one of those guys that was just a constant MVP guy, right? Just nonstop. Again, absolutely impactful on every single team he played on. Played his entire career in Detroit as well. Won the MVP in 37. Was a 6-time All-Star, won batting title, won an MVP. Like I said, won the 1935 World Series. One of those guys that just played and just did great. Every year was just a huge part of those Detroit Tiger teams. Those are great teams too for a long time. 19 years, very good teams almost all of those years. Ended up hitting 320 with 1,400 RBIs. Had one year where obviously won the MVP, won the World Series, but it was like every single year. I mean, look at this: MVP 8, MVP 5, MVP 4, MVP 9, MVP 6, 2, 6, 4, 10, 14, 23, 1, 17. Like every year, one of the best in baseball.
All right, the next guy on Mount Rushmore, I'm going to give you a little grief about this one, because there's 4 guys on Mount Rushmore. You can't choose 2 for the last spot. So you have 2 guys over here. I'm making you choose one right now. This is bull.
I'm not going to choose one.
You're choosing one. There's 4 guys on Mount Rushmore.
To me, I think it's so unique and so cool. Lou Whitaker, Alan Trammell, what they did together in the middle of those 80s, 70s, 80s lineup. I mean, dude, they came up together and they finished basically 1 year apart. Like, how cool is that? They came up in 77, finished in 95 and 96, or Lou Whitaker was 95, Alan Trammell was 96. If I had to choose one, I don't know. Here's my problem. I am not a Detroit Tiger fan.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you which one of those guys are probably more beloved by the fans. I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say Lou Whitaker. But I
think it's
just
Alan
don't.
Trammell.
What'd you say?
I think it might be Alan Trammell.
That's the thing. I don't know. Both of these guys are absolute amazing studs. I just think it's so cool that they were such a core part of the teams. They were together. They were shortstop, second base, like together. I mean,
all right. You know what? I'm going to make an
man. How cool is that?
No, it's not cool. I'm making an executive decision. Since you can't have two, I'm getting both of them out, and I'm putting JV in the final spot.
No.
I know JV was your next man up, but I can make the case because we just played a little game earlier today. We were talking about Kershaw versus JV versus Scherzer, and JV kicked the crap out of them in most categories. So he moved up into the Mount Rushmore for me in Detroit.
Well, here's my problem: is Verlander, while amazing in Detroit, I mean, he left and had some of his best years in Houston.
That's
the problem. Like, he won 2 Cy Youngs in Houston. He won 1 in Detroit. That's where.
Fine. You don't want to put JV on the 4th? That's fine, but make a decision. I'm not giving you this garbage with 2 guys.
I'll go Lou Whitaker.
All right, fine.
I'll go Lou Whitaker.
The next,
but again, like you're leaving out how beautiful it is to have them both. I also I got Verlander as first man out, and I also have Hal Newhouser together as first man out. Again, you're going back in the day a little bit. I don't want to just skip him and skip how good he was.
But how can you be the first man out if there's 2 of them? That's the first, second man out?
They're together. They're absolutely even. I don't want to skip with. They're both incredible. He won the Triple Crown. Was an MVP 2 times. Like, he over 200 wins as a Tiger, which is a lot more than Justin Verlander has as a Tiger. That's my thing about it, is like, to me, I actually probably would have Hal Newhouser. But I also want to spread the love out to different generations, and that's why I wanted Justin Verlander.
Okay. Detroit Tigers fans, if you're watching this, please, or any baseball fan, if you're watching this, put something in the comments. Tell David that there's only 4 people on Mount Rushmore, and this garbage isn't going to fly. And let us know who your top 4 is, because I'm extremely pissed off at this back and forth garbage that, Dave thinks he's going to be able to pull off today.
4th, save it.
David, do you have anything else to discuss before we go?
Yes, I do. We have a guy on the current roster who could possibly make this list.
I wonder who that could be.
Right,
let me guess. It's Tarik Skubal. I thought maybe it was going to be Spencer Torkelson.
Well, hey, man, if Torkelson ended up actually playing on the level like he could, you never know. Tarik Skubal, he's behind the 8 ball. He's already 28, and again, incredible year last year, Cy Young winner, 18 wins. Amazing year. He's got to do that for like the next 8 years.
Yeah, that's all.
That's it. In all reality, like, and even if he did it the next 8 years, like, then he's tied with Verlander.
Well, if you can't do it for the next 8 years, I know a softball team that could use him in Brooklyn.
Right.
All right, David. Pretty good show. I was going to say great show, but unfortunately, your Mount Rushmore just pissed me off. I got to be honest, because I'll tell you the reason. Because I've been having this argument with a Yankee fan, and he's telling me, "No, Jeter's on the Mount Rushmore. You have to have 6 guys on the Mount Rushmore." I'm like, no, there's 4 guys on Mount Rushmore. You can't
Mount
make
Rushmore's 4, and I get it. I just think it's so unique, like that they were together, shortstop, second base.
All right, so you know what? When we get to the Yankees, put 19 guys on Mount Rushmore. You carve that freaking mountain.
No. Yeah, I got 4. I've got 4.
Wait, so you got 4 for the Yankees and you have 5 for the Tigers?
Yep.
I can't wait for this.
There's nothing like that on the Yankees. There's no like second base and shortstop, and both were almost exactly even in every stat. Like it's just not the same.
Okay, fair enough. With all that being said, I'm James the Greek. He's David Aardsma. I'm pissed off. See you next week.